You have the call.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner, thank you for all the great work you and your team do. It is exceptional. I've got some questions following on from all the media about the undercover operatives whose lives are still at risk. Given that they've done such incredible infiltrations, am I right in saying that there's been 2 threat assessments done on their cases?
I might have to hand to the deputy, but
Sure.
I would say this, Senator, myself personally, I've met with one of those officers.
Mm-hmm.
There are arrangements in place. There are a lot of different views about what's occurred, and we do have to tread very carefully about what we can and can't say, given the fact that some matters are not finalised. But I'll hand over to Deputy McCartney.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just given the recent media reporting, Senator, I think it's important, and I'd like to explain in some detail, just to provide some context.
Likely to be not have a lot of time, so anything more extensive you might want to put on notice.
No, I think it is important to provide some context given the media reporting. As someone who has intimate knowledge of the AFP's Undercover program and as a Deputy Commissioner responsible for the AFP security, I do have a deep understanding of these matters. The AFP's Undercover program has been running for 22 years, Senator, and is an effective, proven and an absolutely necessary function in AFP. Ensuring the safety and security of AFP members is always the top priority for all operational capabilities, including the AFP's Undercover program. For over 22 years of the program, we've never had...
Sorry, Deputy Commissioner, this is...
I'll go to the issue.
I know it's...
I'll go to the issue in the threat assessment, Senator. It's important we put these issues on the table. We've never had an undercover officer physically harmed through the course of their duties. In 2020, in terms of some of the issues that have been raised, I commissioned a review of the Undercover program to ensure that it was fit for purpose. The review identified 86 recommendations to improve the governance structure and process for the program, all of which have been accepted and adopted. It is always our interest to look after our own. This is why the AFP has a robust and well-resourced capabilities to ensure threats and security risks for all AFP members are continually assessed and mitigated. I'll go to the case that's been referenced in the media, Senator, and the question you asked. I can't go into the specific details, but I can say the following. Firstly, I acknowledge this has been a challenging case for the members involved. The AFP has spent thousands of hours on this case to ensure that the true identities of these former undercover members are protected. The AFP has spent considerable effort continually assessing the threats and risks for this case, noting this requires ongoing engagement with former undercover members. Even as of today, the AFP has not identified any direct threat in relation to those members.
Can I just pull you up on that? As I understand it, the original threat assessment was done on them, identified the risks to them as being expected to certain. Is that correct?
Senator, I'm not going to go into the details of the individual case. I don't think it's appropriate through these issues to be ventilated through this forum.
The second assessment was possible. Now, that's a major change in levels of threat. And I think we would all hope that any mitigation was done, whether possible or expected or certain. Were both those assessments done to the same standard?
Senator, I'm not going to go into the issues in relation to the threat assessments. I don't think it's appropriate. But as I stated, thousands of hours have been spent in terms of ensuring the safety and security of those members.
Commissioner, can you then tell me, were both of those threat assessments done to the Australian standard ISO 31000? Listen, Senator, I think again it's not appropriate to go to those individual That's
matters.
a very general question about the standard. That's
Yeah,
just an ISO standard.
I just think, given the circumstances of the case, it's not appropriate to go to that.
I think it's very appropriate, and I think you owe this committee an answer to that question at the very least.
Senator, what I've said is the considerable work the AFP has put in place in terms of the safety and security of those members. It's been done appropriately.
Are you applying for a PII
No,
against that?
That's not what's
I think
happening.
we deserve an answer to that question.
So I've answered your question, Senator.
No, you haven't. Were they both done to that standard?
I don't think it's appropriate to ventilate those issues through an open forum, Senator.
That's exactly what Senate estimates is for.
Yeah,
That is our role here,
Yeah.
to be able to ask you those questions, to ensure that the work the taxpayers are funding is done to the appropriate standards. Were both of those threat assessments done to that ISO standard?
Senator, both.
You can take it on notice if you like.
I'll take it on notice, Senator.
But I do expect an answer. Thank you, Chair.